HR and Payroll Compliance. Our speakers today are Cameron Hard, Jalen Uboh, and I'm your moderator, Ameka Ali. I'm a former federal contracting officer, and I've had the privilege of awarding over $3 billion in contracts to small businesses. I've worked at previous experience with GSA, FEMA, Berkeley Lab, FAA, to name a few. And currently I'm the managing partner here at BidExecs Houston, where we provide business development and proposal management solutions to government contractors. Our guest today is Mr. Cameron Hard, and he is the Senior District Manager in the Atlanta Small Business Services Division of ADP. And in his 10 years with ADP, he's assisted hundreds of startups and emerging business owners accelerate their revenue while maintaining compliance with the IRS and state agencies. And his track record for success speaks for itself. He's a 7 President's Club awards. He has the 6 Pinnacle Awards, 1 MVP award, and a Senior District Manager award. We also have Mr. Jalen Uboh, who will be also speaking today. He is the founder of the Uboh Business Academy, as well as All American Contracting Solutions. He's currently the executive chairman and banking president of Ellis and Whitmore, an international banking and finance services firm headquartered in the United States here. And he's also the National Diverse Markets Partner for ADP. And that began in 2021 when Jalen and his firm, Ellis and Whitmore, were selected as the first system-wide National Diverse Market Partner of ADP, which is a Fortune 200 company. So I'm really excited to have everyone here today, and I will allow Mr. Hard to take it away from here.
Thank you so much for the warm introduction, and would love to, really just open the dialogue up. Jalen, I think you've got a couple slides that we can share. But for those of you that are familiar with ADP, we are the largest payroll company in the entire world. Actually, we pay 1 out of 5 people in the U.S. currently, and 1 out of 12 people get their paycheck, or most of the time direct deposit, through ADP, worldwide now. What a lot of people don't know is that the small business division of ADP, we handle companies that have as few as 0 employees, or essentially just the business owner, so 1 employee, all the way up to 49 employees. So throughout the entire life cycle, from the day that you open your federal ID, your EIN number, and that is established, you're already a qualified ADP client, and we can help your business from day one and accelerate your growth, really by allowing you to focus on really 3 main key categories. Number 1 is cash flow management. Number 2 is risk management. And lastly, compliance with the IRS and the Department of Labor. ADP knows that 7 out of 10 small business owners are out of compliance, whether it be having an out of date labor law poster, not having up-to-date employee handbooks or policies and procedures in place. So statistically speaking, 7 out of 10 small businesses are out of compliance for one thing or another, and those are costly setbacks for business owners like yourself. For example, out of compliant or outdated labor law poster, $7,500 penalty. Believe me, I think that type of penalty is just as silly as you probably do. But again, to simplify things, those are just some of the things and some of the reasons that businesses like you would choose to partner with a firm like ADP. We've been in business over 70 years, so clearly we're doing something right to help the small business arena, and the diverse marketplace. Specifically through this program, you're able to take advantage of a couple discounts, preferred pricing, promotions, waive setup fees, and everything just by coming through the diverse markets channel. And frankly, ADP knows that this segment of business owners is growing faster than any other segment in the entire country. Specifically, women-owned businesses are growing, twice as fast as male-owned businesses. And furthermore, the increase in women-owned businesses is specifically in the minority sector or minority space. So Jalen, if you don't mind moving to the next slide for me. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So, not sure, again, how familiar, you may or may not be with ADP and the services that we provide. Frankly, I wasn't real concerned with ADP before I came to begin my career here over 10 years ago, and I certainly didn't know all the tools and resources and services that they provide. And frankly, all of that has been, it's ever changing at the rate that the laws and ordinances are coming down from the IRS and the Department of Labor. There's nothing that, if there's one thing that stays the same, it's that nothing has stayed the same in the last 10 years. COVID regulations and PPP loans and minimum wage, you name it. There's a lot of variables in any given topic. But the bottom line is the reason that ADP is so successful in helping small businesses like yours is having one platform, one system to integrate all the different, tentacles, if you will, almost like an octopus with all the different services and insurance and hiring and onboarding employees and terminating employees and HR and quarterly taxes and timekeeping. It's overwhelming when you think about everything. But if you could have one platform and one system to keep all of those functions streamlined and organized, so at the end of the day, you're focused on revenue generating activities. That's where ADP comes in, and that's what we allow you to do better than any other service provider out there. So again, everything from your business insurance, whether it be workers' comp insurance, property insurance, if you need a general liability or a commercial auto, whatever type of insurance, including the group health insurance. If you're looking for ways to attract and retain your employees or you're talented so they're not going down the road to the next best company or some competitor, those types of employee benefits, to attract and retain your talented employees if and when you get there. Again, all this can be tailored and carved out, and we can scale up or scale down, and obviously that's going to impact the overall expense. But again, the bottom line is ADP can help you from day one when no other employees are at your company, and it's just you, and you need to find a legal and compliant way of paying yourself and making sure all the quarterly taxes are paid accurately and on time. And perhaps you want to establish and build your business credit score and history. Those are the types of things that ADP will assist you with. And Jalen, would you like to hop to the next slide? And I know that I'm going fast through everything, and I wouldn't expect you guys to write anything down. I'll have all of this shared with anybody who's interested after our session today. But just to give you an idea of some of the scalable options of ADP solutions, as you can see, the HR Plus bundle or package, that's the least comprehensive of all four options, but that's going to include things like background checks. So you make sure you're making intelligent hiring decisions, therefore reducing your employee turnover, improving company culture, and decreasing the likelihood of having exposing your company to some sort of sexual harassment claim, or you name it. There's scenarios for just about everything out there, and at least some of our clients like to have the option or like to have the benefit of knowing exactly who they're bringing on board, both from a W-2 employee standpoint or a 1099 contractor standpoint. ZipRecruiter is included with our service. So instead of going outside and going directly to ZipRecruiter on your own and paying $300 or $400 a month for it, it's included with our HR package, through the HR Plus package. So again, these are the different, just four of the most common ADP packages or solutions. And again, we can carve any of these services out if you're not interested or your company is not there yet. And again, that will make the pricing a little bit less expensive, and conversely more expensive the more services that we add in. That's basically it. I don't know if at the end, if there's a time to open up to questions, or we can feel free to reach out to me directly, and we can have one-off conversation with any specific questions that anyone might have.
Cameron, so with this scalability of the option, there's a question in the chat about pricing. So my assumption is that the pricing changes with the types of tiers, but is there a general range?
That's a great question. The HR package starts at $70, and that's for anywhere between 1 and 4 people on payroll. The HR package would start at $90, and then the comp services, that's really for, we'd have to go through an analysis. That's a much larger investment. And the minimum for this comp services package here is at least 25 W-2 employees at the company for ADP to consider bringing one of these clients on board. But short answer, $70 for the HR Plus, $90 HR Pro, and 99% of the time, if there's just no other employees, then it's just the business owner. I wish we had one more tier here with the enhanced package, because that's going to be the best fit for the single person entities, or they're not looking to grow in headcount anytime soon, and that would be $50, for the enhanced package, which would go right here. Does that answer your question? Any other questions?
So I have another question regarding the hiring. When you mentioned that they track the payroll. So a lot of these listeners that we know that they're government contractors, so they have to abide by Department of Labor Service Contract Act and those required wage determinations. So when
Uh-huh.
you're working with these business owners, are is there a way to be mindful of that or make sure that they're pricing their employee wages properly?
Hey, can I jump
Of
in
course.
there, Cam?
Sure.
Hey there, everyone. Hey, Ameka.
Hi,
We
Jalen.
actually, how are you?
Well, how you doing?
Good. Okay, so we actually have a another PowerPoint. Am I able to share that? Because I actually go over that exact thing in that PowerPoint.
Absolutely. Let me stop sharing and let me give you
Okay.
control.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. I think I have access now. All right. I want to be able. Can you all see my screen?
We sure can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, and thank you for your patience, everyone. This is the real world of technology, working it out. So I actually want to go over a couple of things if I can. And Cam did an amazing job just giving an overview of ADP's products and services. And really some of the things that, as a government contractor, the things you need to have to, number one, be in compliance. Because, as government contractors, you already know there's 1,000,001 compliance factors that you have to abide by. And one of the most frustrating things as a business owner, when you're trying to focus on your business, is to have a long list of rules and regulations that you have to abide by. Knowing we have to abide by these things, it just makes it easier when you have a partner that already has all these things in place. And so I kind of want to pinpoint some actual acts and also some FAR regulations that ADP is already going to take care of you. I think I kind of jumped in there, but Cam didn't get to say this, but ADP does take care of a lot of these things for you. So I'm going to jump because we kind of got started. I'm going to jump right in here, but one of the things, one of the things that we are all under all these different regulations. And so number one, for all of my government contractors out there, give me a wave if you can, shoot something in the chat. I want to, first of all, give you some basic understanding of what compliance looks like. And then from there, kind of pinpoint that and tie that back into what ADP offers. Is that okay, Cam and Ameka, if I can do that for a moment?
Yeah,
Please.
absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So the U.S. has a number of federal and state laws and regulations regarding employee rights. So we're going to start off with employee law basics. Okay, we're going to take you through a basic law class. So there's 4 broad categories that are covered in this area: discrimination, fair pay, employee privacy, and safety in the workplace. So there are various organizations that enforce these laws, one being the EEOC. We probably have heard of them the most, the the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Other agencies, the Department of Justice, and as well as the Department of Labor. So there are some small businesses that are exempt from some of these federal regulations. But as federal contractors and or subcontractors, you must adhere by certain specific laws. So we're going to touch on some of those key things. And then what I want to do in the end is tie that back to everything that Cam kind of laid out in the beginning, tie that back to how ADP provides a lot of those products and services for you. So we're going to hit some major ones, right? Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination in the hiring process based off of race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. The American with Disabilities Act It prohibits discrimination against a person with a qualified disability. The Age Discrimination in Employment Act, it prohibits discrimination against workers age 40 or older. And I'm going to speed past these because a lot of these we're familiar with, right? Fair Labor Standards Act, or the FLSA, it governs the following: work hours, how many breaks, minimum amount of breaks, minimum salaries, and overtime. And that's going to be an important one, especially at government contractors, because we are limited to, or we are regulated by our wage determinations. And depending on what industry you're serving the government in, or on that government contract, whether maybe you have a facilities maintenance contract and you're servicing janitorial type services, or you're doing construction work, or you are, selling a type of widget, some type of product to the government. Those things are all determined on the employees you keep in your business, and even it affects your subcontractor salaries, right? What you pay your subcontractors. So that's going to be really important. We're going to come back to that here in a moment. And then the Family and Leave Act. So these are employers must allow their employees to have some leave for certain medical conditions, up to 12 weeks off, okay? And the exemption criteria there. So I'm going to speed past this so we can jump right into it. So there are some unique laws that I do want to point out for federal contractors. If you are not aware of them, please write these down. Just notate them. They're going to be very important. Number one, these apply to all businesses. The Executive Order 11246. So Executive Order 11246, the Americans with Disability Act, and the Vietnam Era Veterans Readjustment Assistance Act of 1974, okay? Now, these next laws only apply to construction contractors and subcontractors. As you know, we had a huge infrastructure bill passed, and so there's going to be lots of infrastructure work. So engineers, architects, construction, people in the construction industry, contractors, this applies to you. The Davis, that's supposed to be the Davis-Bacon and related acts, and the McNamara, I hope I said that right, O'Hara Service Contract Act, okay? So going back to one of those laws that pertain to all businesses. So the Executive Order 11246 is similar to Title VII in that it addresses discrimination, but it's geared specifically toward federal contractors. This order prohibits federal contractors and federally assisted construction contractors and subcontractors who do over $10,000 in government business in 1 year from discriminating in employment decisions on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, right? And so some of the amazing tools, I said I want to tie this back to some of the amazing products and services ADP has. In reading my bio, Ameka touched on the Uboh Business Academy. We have our Business Academy has been able to touch tens of thousands of government contractors. We have helped lots of people get in this space. And one of the things that we always pinpoint is when you're establishing your federal government contracting business and you're doing business with the federal government, you want to have some type of handbook, some type of manual of how you will operate your business, right? You want to have some handbook or compliance guide. So as you are growing your business, as you're operating in management, you don't miss out on some of these very key important things. One of the things I can say to this effect is ADP has already come in and correct me about the name of the package, but what's the package that we get most people signed up on, Cam? The HR Plus, is that the one? Or Enhanced?
HR Plus, if there's 2 or more employees, HR Plus. If it's just one employee or just a business owner, it would be the Enhanced.
Okay, so the enhanced and plus come along. There's a HR 411 suite, right? Where you get a ton of benefits. And one of those benefits are you have a templated handbook. So, and am I correct, Cam? I don't want to speak out of it.
It actually, it's almost, it's a basically like a wizard that it
Yep.
takes all of the company information,
Yep.
and then the business owner will walk through and basically customize it, and the system customizes it for that particular owner. And at the end of it, 15 minutes later, they've got a customized, up to date, very comprehensive and legal employee handbook that the Department of Labor approves.
Yeah, and it takes literally 5 to 10 minutes. I did one myself, and it covers all states. So depending on what state you operate in, you have the ability to just toggle each state that you're operating in, and so you have the ability to be in compliance with an order like this, right? So I want to, as we go through this, I want to tie this back in, and we'll show a quick video before we go, but I want to tie everything back in. So this order also requires supply and service contractors, generally those with 50 or more employees or with a contract of $50,000 or more, to develop and maintain a written affirmative action program, or AAP. And so what are the things that come along with the services that ADP provides are HR consultants. So one of the key factors of doing this is you don't have the time to write programs. You may not have the time to write a 50 or 100-page document describing your programs. And so you have the ability to access the HR consultants that work within ADP, that have the ability to walk you through the process and to help you to complete and maintain a written affirmative action program if that order is something that you fall under, if you meet the 50 employee count or a contract over 50,000. Okay, does that make sense? I just want to make sure that makes sense to everyone. Okay, and please keep the questions coming. So the Davis-Bacon Act, or DBA. So this is a requirement that is in regards to payment of locally prevailing wages and fringe benefits to laborers and mechanics as determined by the U.S. Department of Labor. It applies direct to federal and District of Columbia contracts. So as a federal contract, this is going to touch just about everyone. So I think, okay, my apologies. I don't know how I skipped all those slides. So criteria for considering if you are, okay, my apologies, everyone. I'm having a little glitch over here. So coverage of the DBA. So this applies to contracts in excess of $2,000 to which the federal government or the District of Columbia is a party for construction, alteration, and or repair, including painting, decorating, and public buildings or public works. So if you win a contract and you're doing any type of, usually this is set aside for construction contracts or building alterations, remodels. I know my company has won a number of remodels. We went in, tore down government buildings, built up something new. So we would fall under this, okay? So some of the considerations or criteria to consider for the DBA coverage is the contract an agreement to which the U.S. is party to, or the District of Columbia? Is the agreement a contract for construction? Is the contract for construction a contract for construction of a public building or public work of the United States or the District of Columbia? And I want to give you a little information about that. Under the Davis-Bacon Act, there's certain wage, we call them the wage determinations, and you guys should be familiar with those in the FARs, and we're going to touch some of those, but I want to talk about some of the related acts as well. So these are examples of some related acts. So there's a HUD finance construction of low-income housing project, right? That would fall under this determination. Or maybe there might be a Federal Highway Administration office providing a grant to states for reconstruction of roads and bridges on a federal aid highway. Okay, so that would also fall under this determination. Okay, and distinguishing DBA and DBRA, examples of DBA projects would be like a VA hospital, for example, a federal office building, a military base housing, or National Park Road. And so again, there are some compliance measures under the Davis-Bacon Act. Number one, it's going to pertain to laborers and mechanics. There are certain compliance measures in regards to the sites of work and then the classifications of work. And all of this will entail, what's all wrapped up in this are the different type of fringe benefits that are offered, the deductions, as well as certified payrolls. So these are the requirements that are set out by the federal government in regards to those particular construction projects. Okay. All right. Very quickly, and I think this kind of goes to the question that you asked earlier, Ameka, the Fair Labor Standards